But even though things are slowing down, we here at BF are revving up because this afternoon we have not one, not two, certainly not three, but four prepared speakers this afternoon. And we'd like to kick off with the first speech coming from the dynamic leadership path in level 2 project 1, understanding your leadership style, to be evaluated by our evaluation champion President Pat. The speech entitled for 5 to 7 minutes, the speech entitled "How Do I Become a Better Leader?" Let's give it up for Toastmaster Gigi. Woohoo!
Okay. How do I become a better leader? Many of us in the corporate world that leads a team often wonder, am I a good leader? Am I leading by service, by example? I often wonder in my 20 years of managing people, from being a team leader, supervisor, manager, sales manager, branch manager, division head, and so on. How does one really become a better leader? I can say that it's always finding success to the choices we make. My goal is to coach my team the process that produce best results. It's all about forming the right habits and taking right actions. Back in the old days of selling, we didn't have any internet. We didn't have cars. We used to walk along Ayala Avenue, crossing Salcedo Village to Legazpi Village, doing cold calls. And for many of you who doesn't know, cold calls means knocking at each of every company in Makati City. Okay, we have only one desktop being shared by 18 account managers, gathering all the data we gathered within the day and putting it in the only desktop we have in our company. My supervisor then goes out in tandem with sales, and in every meeting, every objection handling, winning, losing deals, we were both passionate. And my thought was always, how amazing it is to fail and succeed right beside this leader. You feel every bit of sweat down her face, and I have the same feeling. Going the extra mile. You are doing it together. I said to myself, this is the type of leader I want to become one day. If we want something in life, we are responsible. No one else is responsible. And being responsible means we keep control. In leadership, it is important that we focus on our goal. Think of the good and believe that there is good in everything. Think that everybody can be a leader. It's about forming the right habits and taking right actions. Remember, habits are formed about making choices over and over and over again. And it is our subconscious mind that can replicate those choices without thinking about it. They become us. They become who we are. How many of you have ever met a passionate leader? This person comes to work every day. This person, maybe you can see in the office there before 8 o'clock and even leaving, maybe one of the few people who lives at the office very late. This is how passionate this person can be. She loves the product, she loves the services, and maybe memorize the mission statement of the company. And when you're passionate, that is contagious. It can motivate people and make them do things that they find themselves very impossible to do. In a book by John Maxwell on leadership, 21 Powerful Minutes in Leadership, he said that in times of adversity, there is always an equivalent seed of success. These are the times when we were so stressed out. but we overcome it. We learned from it and even made us a better person. Now, if you still think of what kind of leader are you, well, I can say that being a good leader, we have to be one, we have to inspire, we have to motivate, we have to make room for improvements, we have to make room for mistakes, and we give feedback. We show the value of time management, planning, organizing, and implementation. And lastly, we control, yet we delegate and empower. And that what becomes an effective leader. Good afternoon.
Wow. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Gigi, for sharing to us that journey for in your corporate world. And that is indeed a worthy leadership speech. Actually, it kind of reminded me of my speech project on coaching, because those are some of the tenets that are really important. You know, some people are just managers, but some people are both managers and leaders. And it's nice that you were able to clarify the cold calls. So that's what cold calls is all about. I've always thought that cold calls is when I was a lot younger, I would try to call a girl and she would be cold towards me. I thought that's what cold calls are all about. Thank you for
It's
clarifying that out. Now, let's move forward to our next speaker from the innovative planning path, here to do a project from the project one from level two. Again, also understanding your leadership style, having a time of 5 to 7 minutes, and to be evaluated by past area director Mam Ching. His speech entitled Coaching My Way Through This Lockdown. I give to you our next speaker, Toastmaster Renzo. Woohoo!
So, what is a coach? A coach is someone who sees beyond your limits and guides you to your greatness. Going through this project, I was nervous and doubtful because I have a very few leadership experiences. But when I was about to finish this project, I realized that my leadership style is coaching. And I think I may have had experiences about it even before lockdown, since I am a wealth coach. One ECQ day, my dad told me he found a course about life coaching and asked me, Renzo, do you want to explore life coaching with me? I told him immediately, sure, I think I need to apply that to myself. That was 2 months ago. And since then, when I find an interesting lesson about life coaching, I always share it with Nat and my siblings. That is when I realized that my leadership style has always been gravitating towards coaching style. Coaching style of leadership is when a leader is directly involved in the development of their people, seeking to advance their personal and professional growth. That's why I always feel excited when I motivate people, make them realize their potential and that they can achieve beyond their limits. Furthermore, I noticed that I am good at helping other people take action to achieve their desired goals. Looking back, when I drink whiskey with my siblings during this ECQ, the life coach in me appears. And because of this, I was able to motivate them to take action towards their goals. For my sister, I was able to push her to start My Kitchen. It's a food delivery business that is constantly changing the menu to showcase her cooking talent, and to adjust to people's cravings. If you haven't tried it yet, you are missing out. Shameless plug. And for Nat, I was able to motivate her to pursue her dream of becoming a fitness coach, since that is her passion and that's what makes her happy. At first, she was doubtful about pursuing it, but I convinced her to just explore it. That's why she is already enrolled in a good nutrition and fitness coach certification program. For my brother, I already convinced him to start posting or advertising his talent and band to showcase his songs and singing skills. By being an effective coach, there are some things that I need to implicate on myself, as I have realized that as there are many ways in which an answer is derived from many equations, I find that people are also the same, and each approach in regards to coaching should also be different. In doing this, I realized that I should speak less and listen more, be kind yet stern, and finally, be more active in redirecting and pushing them towards their goal, especially during their times of demotivation. Just like them, I know that I am still a work in progress and can only grow by continuous learning. By doing this, when you live a life supporting other people, you start to speak life into their dreams. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Woohoo! Thank you very much, Toastmaster Renzo, for sharing with us that exciting journey that you are taking to be both a financial coach and a wealth building coach and a life coach, and for sharing also your experiences in motivating your siblings. Unfortunately, my coach when I played basketball was not able to motivate me to score beyond 3 points. And that's basically, I guess, my limit. Not per game, but per league. And it's kind of sad.
Per league.
So, yes, that's my limit per league. It's either 1 3-point basket and I'm done. Not for the game, but for the league. But indeed, it's nice when someone really helps and drives us and pushes us to really reach our full potential. Unfortunately, my coach did not realize that 3 points per league is my full potential. Now, as we realize more of our potential, let's move on. Indeed, for the first two speakers, we talked about coaching, and our next two speakers will be talking about mentoring. One coming from the Presentation Mastery Path, Level 2 Project 3, for 5 to 7 minutes, and to be evaluated by yours truly, presenting to us virtual mentor turned online friend. I give to you our president, Toastmaster Pat. Woohoo!
Thank you. Is it possible to seek a virtual mentorship during this pandemic? My answer to this is yes. Virtual mentoring is possible. Wait, what is a virtual mentor? Have you heard of such a thing? He or she, according to our Toastmasters lesson plan, he or she is an experienced member who shares knowledge and experience in a specific area via the internet. As with the traditional mentoring relationship, the goal is to empower the Proto-Js to reach their goal. And now, more than ever, as we enter the new normal, those who are seeking self-improvement during this pandemic shouldn't limit themselves. Adapting to this change is necessary. We're still humans behind the screens. So let me share with you my story of how an online mentor that I admire, reading all his materials, absorbing every word, finally paved way for me to be mentored by him through Zoom. So it all started with an email. Is my screen sharing? So he sent an email inviting us to a webinar, which is free. And, And I didn't think that this guy that I've been following for years, let me share his name. His name is Jose Caballe, sent an email to sign up for a free webinar. What did I do? Of course I signed up. I absorbed all that I can, participated when they called for volunteers. I showed up every webinar. It started in April. So this is the webinars that I attended. So this is Jose Caballe. This is the webinars that I've attended. He has 70,000 views on YouTube. And I didn't see myself being his protege because, mind you, this webinar happened every 2 a.m. Manila time because they are based in Los Angeles and that follows the Pacific Standard Time. I was a bit hesitant at first because I'm the youngest in the group and the only Asian Filipina to join. We were joined by other participants from different continents, from North America, Latin America, Europe, and Australia. I feel so unworthy to be there, yet I told myself, if I wanted to learn from the best, I need to show up every webinar. He's giving this all for free, and all I needed to do is consistently show up no matter how tired, how sleepy, how busy I was. I made time and blocked off my Saturdays. And so forgive me, friends, if every fellow Toastmasters that every Saturday I'm a bit out of there because I just slept at 6 a.m. because of this webinar. So I'm really happy that you guys are supporting me and forgiving me for being out of there in some time. So as a protege, having the right attitude will make you stand out. You can feel the energy of those who are always open for learning and growth. As a mentor, Jose is an expert in branding. So let me share with you his experience. So this is Jose Caballe, my virtual mentor. He is a creative entrepreneur, designer, facilitator, amateur chef, as he says, meditation enthusiast, and with over 20 years of design in designing businesses, because my passion is branding. So he handled the brands for Al Gore, Disney, Nike, and Jamie Oliver, the chef. So this is how experienced he was. And so can you feel what I was feeling? Like, am I really here? Am I really talking to him? Am I really engaging with him through this webinar? And he graduated from Art Center, Los Angeles. And what really struck me as a mentor is that he was very grounded, very humble. Even with these achievements and success, he wanted it to share to our community. And that, I think, is what drew me to him and what I admire most about him as a mentor. So let me share with you more of the experiences that I had during that webinar. So this is our group. It happens every 2 a.m. So we have participants from Latin America, from New York, Los Angeles, Europe. So the community is called Core Tribe, which he created. And so I would like to share with everybody that the confidence that I have gained to speak up and share my story to that community, to the webinars I consistently attended, no matter where I'm from, even if I'm the youngest and the only Filipino there, the courage and confidence I gained to speak up and share my thoughts cohesively is thanks to the table topics. No, no. How I delivered my thoughts. It was all thanks to BF Community Toastmasters Club. I was groomed by our mentors here. They encouraged me to improve my speaking journey with our mentors. So I encourage you to take advantage of all the access that we have through Miss Ching, DTMS, DTM Ed, everyone who's here, who helps with who shares their talent in speaking and their time. And I think they are freely sharing it to those who are willing and eager. My virtual mentorship journey is growing in learning and connections. The thing about finding your tribe and community is that you get connected with people who are aligned with your goals and how you think. I remember a lady from UK messaged me because she saw me in the webinar that I just attended with Jose, and she wanted to be in a Zoom call with me. And I was surprised that with our 30-minute conversation, with our different cultural backgrounds, the way we think, the way we view the world and ourselves are very similar. So I don't think that because you're a Filipino or we're from a third world country, that will discount your value as a human. It's all about mindset, my friends, and how you view yourself and who you choose to surround yourself with. Who knew that this community that I met through a webinar from Jose will get me connected with different individuals from Latin America, Europe, North America, those who wanted to change the world. More than ever, this pandemic requires us to jump, to leap, from being scared to being brave, from being selfish to being selfless. I'd like to say that we're now online friends, and I'll show you. I think I'm allowed to, what do you call this? Brag about, humble brag. So this is the webinar, and I agree, consistency is key. So I tweeted about him because now he follows me on Instagram, he follows me on Twitter. We're Facebook friends, Jose. And I remember tweeting this, fangirl moment. Never in a million years did I imagine myself in the same Zoom call with Jose Caballero, whom I had admired for years. And now we're collaborating, learning so much from this community. Forever grateful, dear sir. We're going to change the world. And he replied, and I was fangirling, you guys. He said, funny enough, it's you that inspires me. So I guess it's in an inspo economy. Thank you for being so amazing. And he also tweeted about the webinar that the UK lady saw, which today's webinar, the system, so inspiring. Thank you. That's my handle. So if you want to follow me on IG, it's TasteOfThat. And also he commented on my surfing photo. He was like, oh, Angie, I have to come surf. So I think that kind of highlights that now we're online friends. And I'm still in disbelief that we're Facebook friends. He follows me on IG. He follows me on Twitter. And my virtual mentor is now my friend. So fellow Toastmasters, I encourage you to find yourself a mentor. Here at BF Community Toastmasters Club, your confidence in public speaking will unlock a lot of opportunities for you, just like how it did for me. Be patient with yourself. The right intentions and attitude will lead you to your life mentor. And I encourage you all to pay it forward. Whatever you learn from your mentor, teach it to those who are seeking mentorship from you. Create a culture of learning for yourself and those around you, because life is a continuous learning experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, President Pat. So, that was a very engaging and inspiring speech, and really seeking a mentor. And it's nice you were able to get a mentor, but also as a bonus, a new friend as well, who will be there for you to guide you. And that is really a very, I think that's a gift, that's a blessing that you have really received when you tried. You know, sometimes we just have to push on. We just have to go beyond our fears. Okay, going beyond, let's move on to another introduction to Toastmasters mentoring project. This time, coming from the innovative planning path. So again, this is level 2, project 3, with a time of 5 to 7 minutes, entitled Mentorship Resource. I give to you Toastmaster Loise. Woohoo!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes, it's clear.
So good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Do you need some guide on your journey? I'm sure we all do. It is engraved within us since the time we were born. We would not be who we are now without the guidance of our parents or people who nourished and took care of us. And when we graduate, become an adult, we can be responsible of ourselves. Now that we are, do you think that you still need a guide or mentor? We surely do. So there are things, people, and circumstances that make us bring to clarity and lessons in life. And there are a few examples of times we know that push us to improvement and learning. However, there must be things that we need to hone and empower within us. And the thing is, it does not come out until we exercise and put our effort into it. So growth does not happen without us permitting ourselves to take steps. That is why we need to acknowledge that it will start from us. So this can be in the forms of discipline, gratitude, integrity, and values. And for you to be fulfilled and happy, build it first in yourself. There are things that we need to discover about ourselves before we can really extend to others. As the saying goes, you cannot impart what you don't have. So you may think about looking for someone to look up to, or you are inspired about, just like what President Patricia interestingly shared to us from her speech. But here in this speech, it is, we know that it is important, but I would like to touch on the resources that are just around us, but maybe we are taking it for granted. This is the very first resource that we need to acknowledge before we can take the next steps. So once you are done counting and permitting yourself to grow, we can further touch on mostly external resources. Can you think of those resources that you already have around you? What are those things? This is where we go to the second resource. So remember, the first resource is you permitting and acknowledging the steps. The second resource is technology. So we all know nowadays, especially during this lockdown or quarantine, it seems we cannot live without internet, mobile phone, TV, tablet, etc. And we can connect globally through the internet, search and explore on the things we have no ideas about. We can transact and do a lot of things through the internet, through these devices. But while these technologies are sort of a wonder, are you allowing yourself to filter what is toxic and what will make you whole as a person? Perhaps these are the things that we need to abstain and change to make the most of what it can offer us. Too much of something can make us confused, stressed, and unproductive. The third resource that I'm going to share to you are books. Yes, books. We live in a fast-paced world that encourages mental speed, agility, and multitasking. And for this reason, we believe reading books is a good habit. Books are a resource of mentorship. Can you believe that? They say that the average number of books a CEO reads a year is 60 books, and that's 4 to 5 books a month. These are the leaders, the game changers, the ones that can bring a lot of change in the community. They can shake the ground, rebuilding industries, providing jobs, and inventing some of our most beloved everyday products. So if they're reading that much, imagine yourself, you're able to read at least one book a month. What difference can it make to you? So that's a total of 12 books in a year. So clearly, if these CEOs are reading that much, we believe that there is a value in picking up a book. The fourth thing that I would like to mention that will surely have personal impact on you are your friends. They are the most personal mentors you will have. They are the ones who will listen, give you advice, and even direct you to activities and opportunities. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. That's what said by John Wooden. So what kind of friends do you have? Are they the ones that will help you go or achieve your goals? And the last resource is something internal. I started with yourself as the first resource, and then the last resource is your purpose in life. So your life purpose consists of the central motivating aims of your life. The reasons you get up in the morning. Purpose can guide life decisions, influence behavior, shape goals, offer a sense of direction, and create meaning. Will be unique for everyone. And I hope that you already know that purpose for yourself. And your purpose can actually shift and change throughout life in response to the evolving priorities and fluctuations of your own experiences. I joined Toastmasters with the goal of improving my leadership and communication skills. But little did I know that this is only the first step to realizing my whole purpose in life. There are still a lot of things to explore and understand and develop. It's not only about the goal you have, but also the people you will meet and the habit and discipline that you will need to form in order to discover the right principles in accomplishing our purpose. So remember, the first person who will be your greatest mentor is you. You are the key to your growth. Second is how you use technology to your advantage. Third, your quick resources are books. It will impart nuggets, wisdom, and great information. Fourth are your friends. You will be there and walk with you. And the last purpose that is so important. These are what make a cluster of good mentors. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much for sharing those bits of knowledge in mentoring Toastmaster Loise. Indeed, I was kind of hit when you said reading books is really a good habit because, it's amazing how CEOs are. I also heard about this from some of our senior officers in the company wherein really CEOs are voracious book readers. And my gosh, 60 books per year. I have tried reading a book and maybe I will finish in 60 months. So I'm the exact opposite. Now, after having our fill of those impromptu and prepared speeches, we will have our evaluation portion. But wait, I think we need a little bit of a break. So, President Pat, I think we can have a 5 or maybe 10-minute bladder break.
10, please.
10 minutes. Okay, so Mr. Timer, kindly inform us if the hour has come. Thank you very much and see